Okay, Justin, so after a disappointing week with two defeats, with such tough conditions today, you must be delighted with the 3 points.
Yeah, it was really good actually. I think games like this, we were talking about ways to win it and things you shouldn't do because there was a lot of puddles and stuff on the pitch. But I think actually we played some good football at times and had enough chances to win a game more comfortably. So overall, I think it was really good performance considering how the conditions were. I think we did really well today.
Did the weather have an impact on the tactics going into today?
Yeah, obviously, we said that we didn't want to play anything out of the back today, and even in midfield, we didn't really want to play in front of our goal. So it was to play a bit more direct and then play in their half as much as we could. And I think we did that. I think the defence looked solid, and they did what we asked and put it in behind. Midfield worked really hard, and the strikers sort of had to feed off scraps at times. Just because that's the sort of game it was, and get the chances they created out of it, I think they did really well. So it was decent to see.
Did the weather almost improve us defensively because both marking goal and defensive and the back line were really on it today? Did the weather help them?
Yeah, I think you just have to be more aware. I mean, we spoke about that before, and it's one thing me saying it, but then actually going out and doing it. And I think at the start, a few bounced over some of our defenders' head, which is to be expected. But I think we adapted to it, and we just had to make sure we were on it and anticipating mistakes and stuff like that. And it's always a bit tough because even 20 minutes before the game, we weren't sure if it was going to be on. The ref kept checking it, so we were doing a half-hearted warm-up, I think, if I'm honest, so because people didn't think it would be on, and then when it was, you always worry about people being concentrating. But that's happened to us last season. I remember there was a game like that where we just weren't focused, but today we seemed to be at it and got our rewards in the end, which was decent to see.
Do you think we should have made more of the chances we had? Because we seemed to be in control of the whole game with many chances. Do you think maybe we should have put a couple more away given our goal difference?
Yeah, I mean, I said to him in there that I'm never going to have a go at people for not finishing because it's the hardest thing to do in football is score goals, so I'm never going to have that. I do actually think a couple of times a few players were a bit greedy today, which isn't normally like us. I think 2 or 3 times we could have squared it and there would have been a tap in, so that's a bit frustrating to see more than missing chances. So they're the ones that frustrate me, when they could just square it. Even if you've missed 2 or 3 chances, no one cares at the end of the day if we can get a goal. So no, I don't think it was too bad that we missed. I think it's good to see that we're creating lots of chances. So if we can just, even through the bad spell, I was really disappointed with the way we played against Lebec. But then when I look back at the highlights, we created a lot of chances and their keeper did well. So I think we've always got goals in there. So we just can't rely on having to score 2, 3, 4 goals to win games. So if we can start, conceding none or 1, stuff like that, we've got 2, 3 goals in us, and hopefully we can start progressing and building from the back and being more solid and winning games like that. That's what I'd like to see.
And Lewis picked up man of the match today. First, what did you think of his performance? And secondly, do you think anybody else stood out today?
Yeah, I think it was one of those games really where it wasn't really about individuals. I mean, Lewis was probably the pick of the bunch in terms of trying to create things and stuff. His footwork was really good in that in that muddy condition, so probably deserves it. But the rest, I just think they all just had a solid game, like in these sort of conditions. I think Mark was really good. I think he just relieved pressure. There was a couple he punched, couple he caught right at the end, skidded up, and those little things can be really difficult. And another time it could cause us loads of pressure, but he really sort of helped the pressure. So I think he did really well. And yeah, I think overall it was more about the team today than individuals.
And a big match for us next Saturday if we have ambitions of being up there in the top 4 against Longwell Green, who are currently 4th. What are the thoughts going into that game? Because obviously we've stood here before and spoken about when we beat Welton and going to Backwell and winning, and it's not happened. What's the thoughts from yourself going into that big Longwell game next week?
Well, like I said in the last interview, we are just too hit or miss, so it's really hard to know what's going to happen, and we're trying to make sure that doesn't happen. We're trying to keep the same system and the same team whenever we can. That's what I think might have something to do with it. But I think, again, if we play like that today, I think it's winnable. We've got chances. On another day, we could have scored 5, 6 goals today. So as long as we play with the same attacking threat, I think we can beat anyone. But the main aim for me is to see us be nice and solid. And I think the conditions will be better. They're a very good team over there. I remember we went there last year and it was tough, and I think we got a draw out of it. But yeah, I'm always confident if we go up, to places where we're up for it and we start quick and we move the ball fast. It's when we don't move the ball quick and we're just a bit slow starting, that's when we're our own worst enemy. So it's all about getting the players ready to start, and the players are starting to realise that those things go hand in hand. When we start well, when we want it, and when we push all over the pitch, everyone as a team, we're better. That showed today, and hopefully we can take it on to next week.
You just mentioned about us being really hit or miss. Could that almost help us going into these games against bigger teams with, like Longwell, not really knowing which Corsham side's going to turn up?
Maybe, but I don't think that massively has a factor. I think everyone knows that this league's that's what it's like. Everyone can beat everyone, so we just have to really concentrate on ourselves, knowing that Longwell Green are a good side, but they're beatable. So it's on the day if you can be better than teams like that. We're no better or worse than a team like Longwell Green. It's who's better on the day. And we last year were turning up and being solid, hard to beat. And when the games were tight, we wanted it more, and we would edge a win. And we've lacked that this year. So this is what I said to them before the game, that at the moment we're mid-table and there's only sort of 12, 13 games gone, but we're almost at the halfway point. Could be a season where we just sort of hang around in mid-table, but if we start our season from now, really push on and hopefully push for the top four, which is still the aim. I know we're not playing well, and I'm not saying we will get it, and there's a chance we won't get it, but we've always got to strive for what we want to do, and that's always what I'll drum into the players. I'm not happy where we are, they're not happy, so before today we were 4 points behind fourth. I know we've got a game in hands, but people have to win their games in hand, and if we can go and beat teams who are above us like Longwell Green, then obviously it takes us further up, and that's what the aim will be in the long run.